Thanks very much for that, Con. Hi, everyone. My name is Andy Griggs, and I'm the Assistant Manager and Education Officer for the CatchmentCare project. So you've had an introduction from Con about the overall objectives of CatchmentCare. I'm going to focus down a wee bit on our communication work and our community work in particular. So the communication objectives about CatchmentCare, as you can see there, there's a whole raft of these and would be to plan and execute a program of activities which satisfies and identifies the needs of our different stakeholder groups in the project. We've been engaging with landowners and farmers and local interest groups to help them develop an understanding of the challenges faced by our local rivers and our catchments. We're also looking to maximise public interest in the work, which again adds to the legacy of the CatchmentCare project. We're looking to inform relevant organisations, both regionally and nationally, as to the value of our work, and to work in collaboration and partnership with those, and also to inform government and academia and the industries about the value of this information, especially in the research elements that you heard from Con earlier, and to improve and share new data. Like a lot of projects, our communication methods would be, we use a lot of mediums to communicate our messages, and you can see them now. I've just listed them: press releases. We've been running events, and we have events planned for the future. We have a presence on social media and our website at catchmentcare.eu, which I'd urge you to have a look at after this conference. We have been running community engagement events, and I'll come on to an incentive scheme we've been running with community groups last year and this year. We've been producing newsletters, or we do 2 newsletters a year, and you can see our most recent one there, which was focused on the community work we've been achieving. We've been developing brochures, fact sheets, flyers for different stakeholders across the catchments. And we've been developing resources for schools and running education programs, and working, as I said before, with farmers in the farming industry and producing information for them to help them learn about water quality in their local area. One of the most successful elements of CatchmentCare to date has been our community incentive scheme, which was a scheme which we have been rolling out with community groups across the 3 catchments. And we're looking for them to look after and care for their local rivers and associated lakes. We funded 17 projects across the 3 catchments, and our catchment officers based in the Armagh, the Blackwater and the Finn have been helping to develop the projects in partnership with the groups, and then see the project through to conclusion. We've been working to obviously help the groups with this, but we've also been helping with the procurement process, which takes the onus off the groups to go out and get quotes and to purchase items. We've been doing that for them. And the idea was to give those groups some seed funding, which would encourage them to maybe apply for funding in the future, and supports them and upskills them in how you look at a project from initiation through to its conclusion. A whole variety of different projects were funded, including access. We've been funding education work with local schools and after schools clubs for the different communities. We've been looking at training to upskill members of those community groups, supplying equipment for them, and carrying out interpretive materials and funding interpretive panels and information panels across the catchments. Running community action days, bio blitzes, and all these different things have been funded through the CIS, as we call it, the Community Incentive Scheme. As I said, it's been a successful element of the project to date and has a huge potential for a legacy element to CatchmentCare, to engage with communities and to allow them to look after their local rivers and improve the water quality in their area in the future. One of the, this is a couple of photographs here that we have. Couple of projects. The middle one is quite an interesting one. It's from the Armagh catchment. It's the Speleological Union of Ireland, who have developed a very unique citizen science project based around dye tracing in the karst system there. And they're looking to investigate the movement of nutrients and pollutants underground. And that's the equipment being delivered there. I think the guys confused about how to put it all together, but they were very interested to get hold of the equipment for their project. The other 2 there are from the Friends of the Callan group, which are based in Armagh, and they've been looking at developing an education program, an education hub to teach people of all ages and abilities about their local river and the history of the river, the wildlife of the river, and the water quality, how it's deteriorated, and how we can all do something to help put it back and improve it. And they've been doing things like litter picks, education materials. We're funded for them. They have a panel going in, and they have a small education hub as well that is in place. And we've also been developing our own education programs. We ran a very successful pilot program last year, which engaged with 8 schools across the 3 catchments. And as I said before, there's 4 catchment films that were produced, all narrated by the young people themselves about their river journey. And these can be viewed, as I said, on our CatchmentCare YouTube channel or our Facebook page as well, which the link is there. And I'd urge you to have a look at those. They really do put the whole the project for me in context about why it's important to look after our water. And it's about the young people and the future generations. And we have education programs developed this year. Unfortunately, with the lockdown and the schools being off, we haven't been able to initiate those, but they are planned for the autumn term, and we'll be in schools across the catchments as well, developing those education programs. And to bring all this community work together, we have a engagement subcommittee, which meets on a biannual basis. And its role is really to provide us with strategic advice to implement the engagement work. And the committee is made up of a variety of statutory, community and local government organisations. And I won't go through them. You can see them there from both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And that's been very good for bringing those different organisations together and to shape and to focus our work on the community engagement. And there's our contact details. If you do have a question about CatchmentCare and specifically about the community or education work, please do get your question in to the app, and we'll try and answer that today at the conference. And thank you very much for listening.